Hello, it's me again, and today we will talk about how to better integrate a story or the lore of Meteor Maker into the gameplay. First of all, let's start out with the mission maps. So I thought about it a bit, how other games that are not necessarily an RPG or something do a story and tell a story, have hidden lore pieces and all. And the most prominent that I could come up with was the Super Mario one. In Super Mario, you have your world maps, and in those world maps, there are different levels. And each time you beat a level, you can play the next level. And like that, we could have in Meteor Maker outposts made by developers without the restrictions that normal outposts pose, like something more akin to what we see in social outposts. And there could also be a reward system for if you simply complete it, you gain a reward. Then there's maybe a reward for completionists and a hidden lore reward for finding secrets. And those secrets could be hidden in outposts, or if we want to go a step further and just throw out the idea of, hey, maybe we could raid sanctuaries in this modus. And then there look for maybe not genetic material, but a blueprint or something, and try to extract with it, which would then also allow for new gameplay in the in forgotten sanctuaries that still have traps, but that are not necessarily a barrier site. I know this would take a lot of time to make, but it's just something to throw out there, and maybe only the final of the outposts in there could be a sanctuary, or like we have in Super Mario, there is the midway boss and then there is the boss of the world. So maybe 2 sanctuaries and the rest are outposts, maybe 10 levels in total. 8 of them are normal outposts that have some unique gameplay to them. Maybe restrict equipment or something like that to make it more interesting. And some of the objectives to earn stars, like in Super Mario where there are stars to collect, we could have the tomes to collect, and every tome is equal to 1 star in Mario, and if you have all maps played with 3 stars, you gain an extra reward or something like that. Could be nice. Now to the rewards for this. Of course, lore should be hidden. A story could be told with this. Like maybe we are trying to find the scientific data from other sanctuaries that have fallen to get a better grip on which genetic structures already failed, and that could help us figure out how it all works together. And as monetary rewards, we could have, if it is released with every chapter, with every sector, we could have it similar to the archive, but instead of the charms, we could gain, maybe as a final reward, we could gain the free new environment. Like Dredshaw's adds the Dredshaw environment, and maybe that could be unlocked through gameplay of such a story map, which we could call world map or country map or something to keep it in line with how the world is. So basically a mixture of the archive system and the Super Mario Bros. Levels world map system. Then the second method that could be effective to hide lore and tell a story are events. Most events feel like meaningless, like they are just there to exist, and because something special happened, like it's winter, and then it just gets stale because it's always winter every year. So the winter event in Dead by Daylight feels like, yeah, it has something new added sometimes, but it also feels stale because it's always the same and you know when the event is happening. Now, what if we integrate events with the lore and the story? There could be different kinds of events, like a cooperation event where you try to, let's say, rate a certain amount of outposts and build a certain amount of outposts, get a certain amount of acolytes and something and stuff like that. That could work. A versus event where you can choose a faction that you want to support, and when the faction wins, the world is changed in that way. The faction would want it to be Like, let's say, Anti-Chimera faction wins this event, then maybe the progress on Chimera things are lessened, and what they could give rewards for different faction depending on which wins, and maybe have it like that. Then there could be also donation events where you just donate currency or something like that, or event points that you earn to a pool, and when this pool is filled, it could end the event, and lore and story could be added in those events, of course. Like for a cooperative event, that many chimeras suddenly have lost their function and are now inactive, not communicating anymore, and to try to find a way to fix this, you scurry through the wastelands to find the answer for that. That could be interesting as an event. For that, a worse event could be to decide. It could be that a sanctuary has found a new discovery of something, and now some don't like it, some like it, and some have other things found, and then they compete against each other and decide what the reward is for that. For the donation event, it's a bit harder to do in story-wise, but there's a cooperative between sanctuaries at the moment, and maybe they have asked for donations to pull them together to they have asked for donations on genetic combinations that already have been tested in the sanctuary to narrow it down which one needed to be tested still to find a cure. Now we are getting to something that is less likely to make sense and less likely to exist in the game, and that is minigames. Think of FNAF, Five Nights at Friday and such. What is the franchise called? Let me check again. Five Nights at Freddy's has a lot of minigames where there's lore hidden inside those minigames that isn't completely made clear, and having those things could also be fun to explore different things. How could it make sense? Maybe a minigame where you try to decipher the code on your command center to find hidden messages in those codes could be a way. A fishing minigame, because I like fishing and fishing is beautiful. We need more fishing in the game. I need a fishing rod and I need fish and I need to fish. Also, Botania like minigame where you grow plants or something like that could be fun. There are many ways to do it still, but it would be harder to hide lore in it, but maybe you could also hide lore in blueprints or something that just lie around, but more to that later. Hidden pieces. Hidden pieces is basically just lore. You could hide them in the sanctuary and make it so that we can explore more of the sanctuary. Like, there are many doors, and the sanctuary is an entire research facility, so you would think it would be bigger than just this one room, but you can't explore more, and I know it would probably cost a lot of resources to make new rooms and to make it happen, but you could also hide a lot of the lore of the game inside those rooms, like a more detailed room for the genetic structure of things, and maybe there you can see the blueprint of how the HRV works, or what is inside the HRV, and maybe who was the first HRV and who developed it. There are many things that could be used that way. And the second to last one, is voice lines. Whew. Voice lines are already in the game, and there are some things hidden in them, but it's always hard to make out because they are random, and I don't know how to find the file of the voice lines, and I wish there would be a video where we all have all the voice lines. Please, Media Maker team, make a video where we get all the voice lines I needed, I need to analyze it and find out what is hidden in there. But besides it, more voice lines that talk about events that might have happened, because the Pentecat are a very diverse spectrum of people. And they know a lot of things, they have encountered a lot of things. There's a lot that we could learn from it, and that could be interesting from a lore perspective. For example, the Rust Wars there could be a few voice lines about those, or the relationship between Yusuf and the other advisor, who I don't remember the name right now. Anyways, voice lines could be more effectively utilized to make it. And lastly, but not least, is milestones. But not just with anything, but milestones that unlock maybe an animatic, a cinematic, or an art piece. And those milestones could be something like someone reached level 1000 and you get a congratulations letter from someone. And maybe there could be lore hidden inside. Maybe a story could be told that way. Maybe the Chimera changes appearance because of genetic modifications. Maybe at Chimera level 1000 it doesn't exist yet because it's kept at level 100. Yeah, I think it's sad that the levels are kept at level 100. I understand for the advisors because you don't want to have infinite scaling boost duration. But the Chimera level doesn't do anything. And you can still get rewards from the level up. So having it leveling infinite could also work, but there also should be then something that indicates the change of the Chimera. And yeah, I would love to see more of the animation style of the first cinematic, the first animation that we got when we opened the game. There are some things hidden in there, and I would love to see more of those kind of animations. And I know that all of this takes a lot of resources, and that the game isn't in the best spots right now to make all of this happen. But I just want to put it out there to maybe consider for the future when it can happen. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was interesting to see how I think lore could be and story could be more integral to the gameplay, or better integrated, or whatever you want to call it. See you next time. Goodbye.